Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That Sports Show. Not just any sports show, not this sports show, but That Sports Show. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. Want to welcome you guys into 2 weeks in a row we've gotten this show going. Promise you guys strong style coming later in the week. We will kind of re-debut that. But for now, we've got tons and tons to talk about. That Sports Show is Impact Media's weekly show all about pretty much every sport we don't cover with the other ones. It's NFL, it's Atlanta United, it's some Braves talk, it's some NASCAR, it's some F1 thrown in there sometimes, just all kinds of fun stuff. Definitely some rugby and other things. Don't have any rugby tonight, but lots we want to get into. But before we do, I want to tell you guys how you can be a part of this show. You can email the show 3endzone@gmail.com. It is the number 3, ENDZONE@gmail.com. You can search for us on Facebook, That Sports Show. Impact Media should find us either way. If you want to follow us on Twitter, at Team Impact Media, scroll down to the appropriate show where you can watch, listen, whatever you want to do, whatever your heart's desire is. You can listen as many times as you want. There is no cap. At The Impact 99 on Twitter, Triller, TikTok, and Instagram will find myself for show-related things and links and non-show related things. I'll get into those here shortly, what the weekend looks like for Impact Media. A couple things going on. Also, you can you can find us on YouTube, as these are now video shows. You guys want the video shows? I'm bringing you video shows, 6 of them a week, starting this week. At what is this, Sassy? Sunshine's going to tell me. Okay, producer Sunshine tells me it is at impact_media_. That will find us on YouTube. Busy weekend coming up this weekend on Friday night. If you are in the West Georgia area, which is where we are currently recording this show, you can come see this guy or even listen to this guy. I will be hosting once again, or co-hosting the hometown sports media halftime and post-game show with my buddy Eric Adams, who is very good at what he does, and our producer and my longtime friend and friend of the show, Billy Lindahl. We will be at Mount Zion High School this week. So if you are out in the greater West Georgia area, want to check out some great high school football, come on out to Mount Zion. Look for us in the hometown sports media tent. As long as we're not recording a show, love to chat, love to meet you guys. And I love hearing that you guys enjoy our shows. Plus, those guys got a lot of amazing things too. They got their own app where you can listen to any of their feeds when the game's going on. They usually cover, I think they have 5 games at any given Friday that they do. And then, of course, on Saturday, if you want to see this guy again, Jake and John have the weekend off. They have some other things they are doing. You can find me at the KSU football game at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Action at the Fraction, as the great John Nelson would say. Action at the Fraction starts at 3 p.m. If you watch our show Hootie Who, it will tell you how you can be one of 3 people potentially to get a free KSU shirt. If you plan on being at the game, even if you don't, I implore you to watch Hootie Who, which should already be out this week. And it will tell you how you can get your very own free KSU shirt of your choosing. It's that easy. I guarantee nobody else is doing a contest like that. So that's all the fun ways you can find me this weekend. I said Jake and John are off. Although, if I get back from that game in time for the Georgia Tech show, I said this on the Tech show for the Georgia Tech game. Maybe I'll see what Jake's doing. He's probably be watching the UGA game. He'll be covering that. But maybe me and John, or at least me, will do a tweet along where you guys can follow along. We can go back and forth about the game. Just anything in general. We'll try to do something like that if I make it back in time, which I should. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Other than that, let's get into the action. I want to start with the NFL because cash is king, and the NFL prints money like it's going out of style. So let's talk about the NFL. This past week, we had some fun games. Some surprising, some not so surprising. I am going to, let's talk about the Falcons game first. Falcons game first. It was the second game of the week as the Thursday game preempted it. Sunday, it was this past Sunday at 9:30 a.m. because it was part of the international series. This took place in London, aka the unofficial home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who happened to be the team the Falcons were facing. The Falcons had 5 yards, I believe, of total offense. Might have been 5 rushing yards, but 5 total. Anyway, 5 yards in the first quarter. 5 yards, not 5 points, not 5 scores, not 5 water balloons, kumquats, bunt cakes. No, 5 yards. Yeah. The Jaguars, on the other hand, had a lot more than that. Jaguars, by the way, are not only a potential playoff team. I picked them to win their division, and they're probably going to win at least the first week of the playoffs. They might win more than that. They are quite the team. But the Jaguars put up 7 in the first, 10 in the second, and 6 at the end for a total of 23. Our Falcons got a score as Desmond Ridder found Drake London for the score in the third quarter. 23-7 is the final score. Former Atlanta Falcon Calvin Ridley caught a touchdown pass to open up the game, 30-yard touchdown pass from Trevor Lawrence. Turns out he is pretty good. And Brandon McManus, I don't know why he was unsigned. He hit, 3? He hit 3. That is just crazy. I had notes somewhere on here. Let's see if we can find them real quick. I had some notes on this particular game. Is that one? No. Nope. Put those back. See if maybe they're on these other sheets. I see that there. Nope. All right. Well, I saw this game, took some notes on it. Might be the worst Desmond Ridder performance I've seen. And he's had some stinkers. 19 for 31, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. So it's not all on him. Here's my take. I think you got to give him a break. I'm not saying bench him. I'm saying give him a break. Give him a week off, 2 weeks off. I don't want him to be shell-shocked. But 19 for 31 is not so bad. 191 yards. You're in the NFL. If you can't throw for 250, what are you doing? 1 touchdown, okay. 2 interceptions. That's too much. The 4 sacks. I put 3 of those sacks on the offensive line, 1 on Ridder. Because 1, he was deer in headlights and they smoked him. And that's unfortunately what happens. You get smoked. So he got smoked. But I think you give him a week or so. Let's see, who is, I know Taylor Heineke is the backup. Who is it Logan Woodside? Is it? Who is the other quarterback? Can some producer Sassy says she has it. It is Logan Woodside. Okay. I like this. I talked to a Falcons fan earlier today. All right. And he had this idea, and I don't hate it. He might have actually said it yesterday, but either way, he said, how about we let Ridder take a week off? He said bench him. I said, how about a week off? I don't want this to be a benching. Because you're not really replacing him. You're just changing stuff up. So you sit Desmond Ridder. You keep Heineke in the backup role because if this goes sideways with my plan, I want somebody to be able to keep this thing on the rails. Don't want that train off the rails. And Taylor Heineke can more than do that. This comes down to you let Logan Woodside start. You get him ready all week. Hopefully from the plane ride back over, you got him ready. You let him start. You let Desmond Ridder chill out, kind of heal up because he's taking some shots. I don't want him shell shocked. I don't want him seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold because he might not recover. And I think he still has potential. We can't completely give up on it yet. Which Falcons are 2-2, which is very generous because they should probably no, it's not generous. They should be 3-1. We'll put it that way. They should be 3-1. You got to start keeping pace with Tampa Bay, who is 3-1. But 2-2, 3-1. You should be 3-1. Anyway, you put Logan Woodside in. You let Taylor Heineke be the backup in case something crazy happens or in case Logan just is just all over the place. And in a week or so, you let Ridder back in. I said it's not a benching. It's not or punishing him for a bad play. No, it's none of that. Because let's see, they got the game. When do they have their off week? Or if they had it. They have not had their off week. When is it? Not sure when it is, but either way, I would let Logan Woodside start, let him do something a little different, kind of play his game because all three of these quarterbacks have similar games, but they all have a different wrinkle. So, I think you do that, and let's just let's see what happens from there. I think that's a decent idea. It will appease the people that want to get rid of Ridder. I don't think it's time to do that. It will also give a different option. And like I said, gives him time to rest, gives Heineke the chance to come in if something crazy happens. And I don't think it will alter much of the rest of it. There were some highlights. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries for 105 yards. Well done, young man. Tyler Algier, 7 carries for 16 yards. Got to be a little better. He just couldn't get going. He was trying to get into space, but it just didn't work out. Jonnu Smith had 6 catches for 95 yards. It seems like that's who Ridder's go-to is. Bijan had 5 catches out of the backfield. Drake London had the lone touchdown. Kyle Pitts had a couple catches. Cotterell Hodge had a couple catches. And that was pretty much the extent of what happened with that. And Algier caught one in the backfield, just went nowhere. So got to get that up. Got to get that going. Got to get everybody going. If Jonnu Smith is the guy to go to, then great. I think he got a little dinged up because of Ridder kind of leaving him out to dry a few times. But you got to get London. You got to get Pitts going. And you got to let Bijan and Algier get going out of the backfield, and that offensive line's got to be better. Those are the blame. I think some of it's on Ridder. I think a little bit more of it is on the offensive line. They've got to play better, got to find some synergy between them, and I think a little bit of blame goes to the position coaches, not the offensive coordinator. Maybe a little to him, not to the head coach Arthur Smith, because this is what head coaches do. Even ones that are hands-on, he coaches the team. He has his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then the position coaches who instruct what he says, and they implement that to the players. So I don't really have much blame for him right now into this. I think the position coaches need to figure out a better plan with Desmond Ridder. And they need to implement that, and they need to get his confidence up. The offensive coordinator, I think, needs to do some plays to get him comfortable early. And like I said, I think that time off is going to help. Defensive wise, man, this defense is just incredible. Just incredible. You had Onyemata with a sack and a half. Bud Dupree was in on one of those. There was a bunch of hurries. Richie Grant and Nate Landman had a bunch of tackles. Jesse Bates the third. That guy is worth everything. Worth everything. Looked like Young Ho Koo, even though he only had the one extra point, looked like he kind of worked out the kinks of that last week where he just wasn't very good. But in the end, the wins and losses are what matter. And Jacksonville won, and the Falcons lost. Told you guys where they sit in the standings. This week at 1:00, they're back in the States, and they will host the red hot Houston Texans, who are also 2-2. These surprising. I'm going to talk about them in a minute. This Sunday, 1 p.m., Falcons are a 2-point favorite, which means on a neutral field, the Texans will be a 1-point favorite. Told you guys how that worked. That game is on Fox. Look forward to it. Definitely look forward to it. So let's go over the rest of the games from last week. Can we find them? There they are. Lions over the Packers on Thursday night, 34-20. That's about where I had it. The Lions are about a step, aka a year or so in development over the Packers. The Packers are still a very good squad, but the Lions, and they're scary, and they find multiple ways to win games, which makes them dangerous. But Lions over the Packers 34-20 makes a lot of sense. The Bills slapped the Dolphins. I didn't see this coming. I thought the Dolphins were going to run away with it, but the Bills 48, the Dolphins 20. Doesn't really humble the Dolphins. I think if they lined it up and played it again, it could easily go the other way. These are the two of the juggernauts that are not named Kansas City in the AFC, and these two are going to fight it out for the division. Broncos over the Bears with a late-minute field goal. Shout out to the Broncos for playing a pretty solid game and getting the win. Shout out to the Bears for proving that no matter how much dysfunction you have at home, you can perform on the field and score 28 points. Come up just a little short, but hey, that's the first sign of life the Bears have showed in a long, long time. So maybe they can overcome all that front office stuff going on. Ravens over the Browns. The Browns completely, I would say they laid an egg, but they scored 3 points. So they got a field goal. This is the Browns that we thought were going to show up this year. Deshaun Watson is a shell of himself, just to keep the egg reference, I guess. Ravens show everybody they're still better than the Browns, and that their quarterback is pretty good. Lamar Jackson turns out he's pretty good. The Texans over the Steelers 30-6. This is the Steelers team I thought we would get this year. They've kind of overachieved, in my opinion, up until this point. They're a good squad. They really are. But Kenny Pickett got dinged up. That affected their offense a little bit. Not that much, though. The Texans defense had some killer plays. And how about the quarterback for the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, setting rookie records that are breaking Andrew Luck records. He has thrown the second most yards by a rookie through his first 4 games in NFL history. He sound like Bob Uecker stats. But in this game alone, he threw, let's get it on there. Producer Sassy putting that on there. Appreciate it. 16 for 30, 306, 2 touchdowns for C.J. Stroud. He also rushed for a couple yards as well. Damian Pierce with 24 carries and 81 yards. In that one, this tells you how many defensive touchdowns there were. That C.J. Stroud threw for 2 touchdowns. Devin Singletary actually threw for 1, and nobody rushed for 1. So 21 of the points were by the offense, and the others were the field goals, right? I think they're field goals. Yep. Field goals by Ka'imi Fairbairn. Big time kicker, big money kicker there. Nico Collins, 7 catches for 168 yards and 2 of those touchdowns. Dalton Schultz with 42 yards and the touchdown. Damian Pearson on the action. Robert Woods, John Mechie III. It is great to see him back out there after all he has went through. Tank Dell and Devin Singletary. This Houston team, man, I thought they were going to potentially have a top 5 pick. I don't think they are. They them and the Jaguars may be going for this division because it's certainly not Indy and what's the other team in their division? You got Jacksonville, you got Houston, you got Indy. Oh, Tennessee. It's not Tennessee either. But good on the Texans. The emergence of the Texans. They are heating up in the desert. Vikings over the Panthers and what turned out to be a decently close battle. That shows you the kind of struggle that the Vikings are going through and the fact that the Panthers are awful and still scored 13 points on the Vikings. Vikings had issues, man. I wonder how long before they start packing in for next year. Rams suddenly really good, 29-23 over the Colts, who showed up and showed out. The Rams have a rookie, I believe he's the wide receiver. Yeah, Nakua. This kid is Puka Nakua. 9 catches, 163 yards, and a touchdown. He's incredible, man. He is just lighting the world on fire out there in LA. Buccaneers over the Saints 26-9. I guess I had Tampa and New Orleans swapped a little bit. It looks like Falcons fans are going to have to take out Tampa to take the division. Looks like the Saints and Panthers will be below you at the moment. I think you're better than them. But good on the Buccaneers. Turns out, if you find somebody to develop your quarterback and to help him out and put him in good situations, that's a man named Baker's a pretty good quarterback. Eagles over the Commanders in what turned out to be one of the games of the day, the final in overtime. Eagles win 34-31 over the Commanders. Commanders are a pretty decent squad. They're only a few short ticks away from having this figured out, which should make Philadelphia and Dallas worry a little bit because it's not just you two at the top. Commanders are right there in the thick of it. Titans over the Bengals. Bengals are a mess. Gosh, they're 1-3 now, I think. Titans with a big win, 27-3. Good for the Titans. They're only going to get a couple more of these wins this year like this, so good on them for doing that. Chargers over the Raiders, 24-17. The Raiders are a discombobulated mess. They're doing their best, but I honestly think it's their coaching staff. That's what I think. It's just there's no synergy. Synergy seems to be the word of the day. No synergy. Cowboys 38 over the Patriots in Sunday Night Football. Yeah, so much for that Zeke guy returning to the Big D, right? Yeah, he was barely visible throughout the game. And I wish him the best. I want Zeke to do well. He's just on another squad. That's the only thing. Is Zeke is a great guy. We the Dallas Cowboys still love Ezekiel Elliott. He doesn't play for us. But 38-3, Mike McCarthy taking over the play call. As bad as I thought that was going to be, I will stand corrected. That's looking pretty good this year. Big matchup coming up later. I will talk about that shortly. In my Who You Got segment. 49ers 35-16 over the Cardinals. Cardinals not quite as bad as I thought they would be this year. They're playing with a lot of energy. They smashed the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. But 49ers are probably that team in the league, let alone just the NFC. And finally, Chiefs over the Jets 23-20. I missed maybe that was the Sunday night game. 23-20. Shout out to all the Swifties that now tune into Chiefs games. I believe NFLshop.com probably has some Kelsey jerseys on sale if you want to go ahead and buy a few more of those. I think it's great, by the way. That pop culture I talked about a little bit last week. I think those crossovers are great. I'm not saying that every big time celebrity and big time athlete need to date or hang out, or no, just mutual respect. You go to their concerts, they go to your games. It's the same way I say with these colleges and teams. Football teams should go to rugby games. Rugby teams should go to football games. They should all go to hockey. Just everybody support everybody, and that's how we get through this. But Chiefs pick up the win, much needed win. They've got some issues, but they still got that guy named Mahomes, so they're doing pretty good. And then lastly, Seahawks 24 over the Giants 3. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for the Giants. They're paying Daniel Jones a bucket full of money, and it's not working. It's not working. They're going to have to figure something out. Good for the Seahawks. Geno Smith got a little dinged up. Looks like he was okay after the game. Just maybe a little sore. I didn't hear any lasting damage. He wasn't particularly a fan of the hit, but I think he's out of football. As far as teams that have quarterback issues, the Giants, the Jets, and the Falcons. We talked about the Falcons. Giants, like I said, I don't know who you have behind Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is not the answer. He is not. We're going to check right now and see who their other options are. They have Tyrod Taylor, Tom, and then Tommy DeVito. Why not? I give either one of them a shot. Tyrod, you probably, let's do the Falcon strategy. Let's put in Tommy DeVito, give Daniel Jones a week rest or so, and Tyrod can be the backup in case things go squirrely. Can't hurt, Giants. You're barely scoring like 5 points a game, so got to do something. But other than that, the Jets, they pretty much got to stick with Zach Wilson unless they try to trade for somebody, but nobody is completely out of it yet. That's why I like the Giants, and you don't want Daniel Jones. So there is a weird rumor out there, and I just have to throw it out there. It comes from a random website. I haven't checked into or anything. I saw a lot of Falcons fans talking about it. That once again, you Falcons fans want Justin Fields to come home to Atlanta, and that there's a big trade rumor out there. Yeah, you guys started the trade rumor. Schefter's not talking about it. Mortensen's not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. The Orlando Ledbetter of the AJC, who is the Falcons beat writer, he ain't talking about it either. As much as you guys want Justin Fields down here, as much as you guys are trying to run Desmond Ridder off the field, it's not going to happen right now. Could that change? Sure. I see where you're going with it. Hey, great. Get excited. But you, the fans, started this rumor. There's no credible evidence whatsoever outside of random websites writing articles. And I could write an article about how grass is blue and the moon is made out of cottage cheese, but that doesn't make it true. Just throwing that out there, guys. Segment real quickly before we get into the rest of the show called Who You Got. Basically, that's just where I give picks, or whoever else on the show, we just give picks on a couple of the games coming up. I'm going to tell you about, let's do 4. Let's do 4. And those we'll do 5. We'll see if there's 5 big games. And I'll give you the picks on those. Thursday night game's going to be a blowout. Jaguars and the Bills in the international series. So the Jaguars playing back-to-back games in London. That's crazy. Buffalo is only a 5.5 point favorite. I'll tell you right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a very good shot of winning this. They didn't have to go anywhere this week. The Bills have to, I think they played at home. Yep, against Miami. They hosted Miami. So they have to go from Buffalo to London. Hopefully they've already done so. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I got the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars win this one 31-28, something like that. It's going to be close. Might come down to a Brandon McManus field goal, but I will take the Jaguars over the Bills. Man, there's not that many good games. I'll be honest with you guys. Eagles, Rams. I think the Eagles are going to win this. The Rams are going to play them really tough. This is another one that could be 31-28 or 27-20 or something like that. But I got the Eagles over the Rams in the 4:05 window on Fox. That should be a fun game. We may only pick 3 or 4. There it is. The 3-1 Cowboys are going to Santa Clara to take on the 4-0 49ers. Niners are a 4-point favorite, which means they'd be a 1-point favorite on a neutral field. I gotta disagree with that. I think they are the favorite. I think it'd be slightly more than that. But that is the Sunday night game on NBC 820. You guys know I'm a Cowboys fan. even though I cheer for the Falcons as well because they're here local. 49ers are going to win this. I think it's going to be very high scoring. I think it's going to come down to Christian McCaffrey and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's going to probably have 2 touchdown catches. Christian McCaffrey will probably have 3 runs. It's going to be a high scoring affair. Let's go 35-31. 35-31 49ers. And that's, we picked 3 games. Let's pick the 4th. Packers and the Raiders on Monday night. I've got the Green Bay Packers. That's 8:15 on ABC and ESPN. I guess it's going to be simulcast. Green Bay is a 2-point road favorite. It may be 5-point on a neutral field. Told you guys how that math works. But Raiders continue to be just as discombobulated and no synergy. Let's use that word again. The Packers, on the other hand, are pretty close to being back to being a playoff team. So to recap, I got the Jags over the Bills in London. I've got, I guess, 5th game. Give me the Texans over the Falcons. No matter who the Falcons have as quarterback, I think they're going to do some better things because they are at home and they're not across the pond. But I think the Texans are just a slightly better team right now, and they're a little bit hotter of a team. I think the Texans will win 27-20. Let's go with that. But like I said, to recap, Jags over the Bills in London, Texans over the Falcons in a very close contest here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Eagles over the Rams. 49ers over the Raiders. Atlanta United, they are going for a playoff push, and they have a game tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Philadelphia Union. They need every bit of points that they can get. They will follow that up on Saturday by being at the last home game here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta versus the Columbus Crew. And then the following next Saturday will be 2 Saturdays. They will on the 21st. They will be in Cincinnati, 6 p.m. kickoff there for the final regular season game. How do they stand? Well, I believe they are currently in 6th place with 49 points. They are 4 full points ahead of Nashville. That helps. They are only 1 point behind Columbus in 5th. That's why that game is pretty big on Saturday. They are 2 points behind Philadelphia, which is why this weekend or tomorrow's is very big. For 4th, they are 3 points behind New England for 3rd, and they are 5 points behind Orlando for 2nd. You're not catching Cincinnati. You might beat them the last week, but they are far enough ahead to where they have, I believe, already won the Supporters' Shield. So congratulations to them on that. How possible is it to beat Philadelphia? I think it's very possible. You want to score? 2-1 United. Giakoumakis with the first goal. And give me. Everybody's going to say Almada. I think Almada's going to set it up. Give me. Tyler Wolff. Tyler Wolff for the second goal. Giakoumakis and Tyler Wolff with the goals for Wednesday. For Saturday versus Columbus, I'm going to say 3-1. 3-1. Give me Saba with a goal. Give me Almada with a goal. And give me Silva with a goal. 3-1. That's the way I got it. And I'd love to give the clean sheet to Brad, but a lot of times the clean sheets are out of his control, unfortunately. But United, man, they're right there in the thick of it. They look like they're going to be in the playoffs regardless. Just you want a higher seed if you can get it. Not only so you host a game, but just because you want a higher seed to get a better matchup. The Atlanta Braves, they have a bye in the first week, as they are the best team, one of the best teams in the in the National League. The Dodgers are as well. The way the playoffs are set up is the Braves will face the winner of the Miami Marlins Philadelphia Phillies playoff series. The Dodgers will play the winner of the Diamondbacks Brewers. How is the other one gonna? Because we'll talk about that in a second. Where had it? See if we can pull that up. The matchups real quickly. As we, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it that? Nope. Not that one. Um, hmm. All right, I got it somewhere. But I'll tell you right now, who's going to win these series is I think Miami is going to beat Philadelphia. So we're going to get Miami and Atlanta. I think that will be a very fun series. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers give me that was tough. Give me the Brewers. Give me the Brewers to win that one. I'll take the Brewers. Brewers Dodgers will be fun. Miami Atlanta will be good. Rangers defeated the Rays tonight. Rangers are really good. I like the Rays. They got a lot of. They always have a lot of real young, fun talent, a lot of high energy. The Rangers are just freaking good. They're just freaking good. That's not an edit. I said freaking. Give me the Rangers to win that series, not just because they won tonight. I would have picked them anyway. Twins win game 1 versus the Blue Jays 3-1. The Twins are a really good team. They are one of those teams that are going to be hard to beat. But give me the Blue Jays. Give me the Blue Jays to win that one. Blue Jays to win that series. So I've got the Brewers, the Marlins, the Rangers, and the Blue Jays. NASCAR. Let's catch you guys up on some NASCAR. I've actually got one of the races, not this past week, the one before, not Talladega, but we have that one on the screen as we are recording. Blaney ends up with the win in Talladega. Shout out to my mom and her friend, Cheryl, who came over for a family shindig Saturday and then went back to watch the race Sunday. And good to see all of them. But also, I know they had a great time in Talladega. I've talked to my mom since. She had a blast. Talladega is one of her favorite places to go. She's a big NASCAR fan, just like myself. And she says it was a really fun race. It really was. So, let's see. Blaney, as I said, won. You had William Byron in second. You had Denny Hamlin in third. Corey LaJoy was in fourth, and Austin Cindric in fifth. This week, they will be at the Charlotte Road Course. Christopher Bell is the defending champion in that. And when is that one? That's a later game. Sunday at 2. Okay, that's actually earlier. How is things shaping out? Well, I'll tell you. As of right now, William Byron is your points leader. He is 28 points ahead of Denny Hamlin. Christopher Bell is 28 points behind Denny Hamlin. 2 points behind him is Ryan Blaney. That win definitely helped. 1 point behind him is Chris Buescher. Martin Truex Jr. is 2 points back of them. 2 points behind that is Kyle Larson. Trying to do math here. 13 points down is Brad Keselowski. A couple points behind, you got Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Busch. Kyle had a horrendous finish a couple weeks ago, and that's why he's in last. So only got another race or so before an elimination. As of right now, your eliminated racers would be Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick, unless they win races. Or I think at this point, they're enough points down that unless something catastrophic happens, like what happened to Kyle, those are probably going to be the 4 outs. I will say either Reddick or Wallace, or maybe both, will, and their teammates with the 23-11 squad ran by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. I think one of them, Ross could sneak in there too, but either Bubba Wallace or Tyler Reddick will find a way to stave off elimination. I don't know if that means Brad or Kyle Larson are the ones to drop, but that's one. It's not going to be those 4. And I think it's going to. I honestly think it's going to be Wallace. He's going to find a way to win a race or leapfrog Tyler Reddick or something crazy happens. I don't know, but one of those 2, I believe, is going to be the ones to succeed. Lastly, F1. F1 this week. Well, they recently, just a couple weeks ago, were in Japan, where your podium finish was Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Lando Norris. Looks like to me McLaren is starting to figure stuff out. Looks like the Lambos are starting to kind of put some things together as well. But Mercedes is the one that I see Lewis Hamilton maybe driving for somebody else soon. Either because they drop him or he decides to go somewhere. They're just having a lot of problems. And I don't think he wants to go out that way. That I could see some sort of swap or change there. Max, same old, same old. Actually, your standings at the moment. Max Verstappen with 400 points. You might as well have 4 million. Sergio Perez, who Checo Perez is his teammate, has 223. Lewis Hamilton with 190. Fernando Alonso with 174. Carlos Sainz with 150. Jean Leclerc with 135. Lando Norris with 115. Russell with 115 as well. And look at Piastri there. Piastri in 9th with 57. And Lance Stroll with 47 to round out the top 10. A couple of those could overtake each other. Lewis could get close to Sergio Perez if some crazy things happen. Same thing with Alonso to Hamilton or Sainz to Alonso. I think Lando Norris might overtake Jean Leclerc and finish in the top 5 or 6 if he really has some solid. I mean, just it seems like he's on the podium almost every week now. McLaren has just continued to do some incredible things in the second half of this season. What am I missing? There we go. This week, they will be in Qatar or Qatar, or however you want to say that, Sunday, 1 p.m. on the 4-letter network. That's ESPN. Just because of the time difference. Normally, they're across the world. That's why we get these 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. starts here. Sunday at 1 p.m. They're not going to be that far away. Lewis Hamilton is your defending champion, and he's got to be a perennial favorite. I'll go Lando Norris to, if it's not Max, I think Lando Norris is either at least a podium finish. He might win this one. We'll see. But other than that, I think that does it for us. Shout out to all you amazing people who allow us to come on each and every week and talk about the NFL, talk about Atlanta United, talk about the Braves, NASCAR, F1, all kinds of other fun stuff in between. We have some guests hopefully coming up in the next few weeks for this show. Other people may just crash the show. Should be a lot of fun. But this has been another great edition of That Sports Show. Promise you Strong Style is coming later this week. Stay tuned for that. But until then, I am Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses.